everybody knows. Everybody knows that it's now or never. Everybody knows that it's me or you. Everybody knows that you live forever. Yeah, when you've done a lot to. Everybody knows the deal is rotten. Old Black Joe's still picking cotton for your ribbons and bows. And everybody knows. Everybody knows that the plague is coming. Everybody knows that it's moving fast. Everybody knows the naked man and the woman are just an artifact of the past. Yeah, everybody knows that the scene is dead. There's gonna be a meeting on your bed that will disclose what everybody knows. Everybody knows that you're in trouble.
Monday is not a fun day, and Tuesday another blues day. Wednesday's getting better, Thursday doesn't matter, and Friday is the last day. And then it's W-E-E-K-E-N-D, it's weekend. W-E-E-K-E-N-D, it's weekend. W-E-E-K-E-N-D, it's weekend. W-E-E-K-E-N-D, it's weekend. It's not a fun day, and Tuesday another blues day. Wednesday's getting better, Thursday doesn't matter, and Friday is the last day. And then it's W-E-E-K-E-N-D, it's weekend. W-E-E-K-E-N-D, it's weekend. W-E-E-K-E-N-D, it's weekend. W-E-E-K-E-N-D, it's
Hey, sorry, Kim. Yeah, we were playing a little bit too much Arling and Cameron, but if it's a couple minutes past 12 o'clock on a Saturday, is it raining out there? Batch. It's time for the club with Lucas and RCE 106.9 FM. Thank you, everybody, for being here on our Saturday brunch extravaganza, because I'm not alone here in the studio today. I usually am not, actually. So thank you for being here, Sir AJ. But Adam Jacques is here from Vocal Core Barcelona and so many other things as well. But Lady Karina Jackson is also here from Esperanza, who is doing God's work here in Barcelona. We're going to get around to that as well. But also, my brother Adam Jacques here. I swear to God, for years I've said Jacques.
I like it. You can call it what you want.
Adam Jacques. Adam Jacques is here because his Hope and Harmony is having its third incarnation.
Yeah, third.
And it's actually it's been titled Death, Life, and Rebirth. It's a fundraising concert that's happening on Sala Bikini on April 2nd at 8 o'clock at night, not in the morning. And we're going to be repping that for the next a couple of weeks here. And so I want to thank you for being here and thank everybody for tuning in. Remember, you can catch us live here as we do on 106.9 FM and all over Catalonia as well on RCE and the world at rce.cat. But I want you to follow me as well because the Club with Lucas at Instagram, the Club W Lucas at Blue Sky soon, X for the moment. But you can also catch us at RCE 1069 FM. I know. Did I just say that? I did just say that. But yes, unfortunately, we do live in Al Gore's interweb. So this is how things work. But also, you can catch us live wherever you are at rce.cat. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. There's so much to get to right now. So why are we here?
Why are we here?
Yeah, why are we here? Like, who are you, Adam?
Well, Sir Lucas, I've known you for many years now.
I know. I mean, we won't say where we first met.
Yeah.
I believe it was on the stage.
I believe on the stage.
Yeah.
No, we won't sing that man's songs either. Excuse me.
I know the cast of a musical I'd written and was in came on air, but I wasn't available to be there, and I was gutted, and I was so jealous, and I wish I was there chatting with you.
God,
do you remember
Star-Crossed,
Lady
that's
Ella,
right.
Lady Nash,
Certo,
Andromeda Jones? There was a lot, yeah.
Oh yeah, but we met years before that.
Yes.
Too. So
Yeah, I mean,
we've
it's
how
just
long have
always
you
been
been?
there.
How long have you been in Barcelona, man?
In September, I celebrate my 10-year anniversary.
10 years. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Lady K, are you from? Karina Jackson is also here from Esperanza. But also, really quickly, what can we tell the good people who are tuning in now and later? What is Esperanza Barcelona?
Esperanza is a non-profit association, 100% volunteer-based, and every single Saturday and Sunday for the past 11 years, we've been feeding the homeless in Raval, Poble-sec, and Elborn.
And that is one of the things that is happening here, because one of the things that we love to do here at the show specifically is not just promote what stuff that's going on, and usually for the English and expat immigrant community here, but also the fact that there are people doing good despite these strange times that we're living in. And Esperanza BCN, as she said, for years and years now has been doing this. And so I grew up with a family that fed the poor. And so because my parents were business owners, but they were also pastors of a Judeo-Christian church. And so one of the things we did all the mother effing time was go into the poorest regions of Texas and Mexico and feed the poor.
Amazing.
So
Wow.
when you told me that you were doing this, I was like, okay, well, we have to be doing this. So thank you for being here again. Now, let's talk about vocal core, because you don't have me singing for you yet, but
Yeah, you gotta come
should.
join. So yeah, Vocal Core is a community of creatives that I founded and I direct, and we believe that performing arts excellence can be achieved in a positive and safe learning environment. So we constantly celebrate what's going well, work on that, expand that, and then we just make a few little fixes here and there. I use a language called the glimmers and the simmers. So the glimmer is what went fantastic in that and what needs to cook a little bit more. And we celebrate mistakes. Also, one of my phrases is strong and wrong, always. So just make the choice, lean in, because there's nothing worse than making like a slightly tepid performance choice. And just live in the confidence, embrace those mistakes, because that is the growth mindset. And we want to celebrate when you make a mistake because it means you're doing something new. So basically, Vocal Core doesn't have any auditions ever. It's first come, first served. And I take you from never performing in public before to performing live on stage in big venues. Wow. And it's because it's part of my mission, which is I believe anyone can do anything.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. And the spiel was well said, man. Thank you. I'm going to throw that actually on the Instagram.
Yes.
I think that when you do something like that, when you have to get out on stage, most people, I think, what is it? 4 out of 5 people say their biggest fear is to speak in public, which is real fucking dick.
Yeah.
But operative word being dick.
Exactly.
But that is also an element that fear of not knowing oneself. Because once you know yourself, it's a lot easier to get out there and do that when you have that faith in what your abilities can be. So, but the Glimmer and Simmer, why did you create these things? Because there's several things you've created for your modem of how you do things.
I have, it's all kind of happened from... almost naturally, and then I realized I was saying all these things in each session, and then one of the choir members made me merchandise with my phrases, which were "I'm obsessed with you all," which is another one I use. "Sweet angels of music" is another one, and "guys, we're pop stars," and these are things that I say quite regularly. And "strong and wrong" and "lean in," and it's just about it's that you. From an outside, you're performing right now, right? We're all performing. Life is drag. It is.
And what is it? No, we're born naked
and the rest is drag. And that is a theme that runs through our upcoming concert. And especially in today when we're a lot on our phone, we're communicating a lot by WhatsApp. Performance is needed, and it's all so these are all skills. Like I have people who are who've literally never sung in public before. Karaoke is terrifying for them, and at the end of some of the programs I run, they're on stage performing a solo, and then they kind of are like, I can't believe I just did that. But it's because they're never forced to perform in the class. I make it very clear. So I say, hey, you don't have to do the showcase. I'll encourage you, but mental health is first. Always, and whether you are avoiding it for a valid reason or whether you're like, no, this will be meant. I'm not ready yet, and I just go, okay, good. But you'll be surprised because I always say this, and everyone always does it.
Do you think that the performance is? I don't think that performing or going to I went to HB Acting Studio for years in New York. I don't think that is therapy, but it is therapeutic. I think going to therapy is very important. Doing your meditation is very important. It's very separate. But there's a therapeutic element to it.
Of course.
Like going jogging, for example, being in nature.
Yeah. I mean, and therapy is, you have to be in a privileged position to be even able to afford therapy, right? It's like I have the pleasure and the privilege of receiving a mental health diagnosis last year. I had never been in a position in my life I could get that before. So this is another thing I champion is you got to do what brings you joy. And then if you can have therapy, that's amazing. But it doesn't mean you can't explore what you can do, what you're capable of. And you
Free
can find
on YouTube too.
Exactly. So there's a myriad of resources out there. I am Mel Robbins' biggest fan and I love all her work. And I think that is a great first step to therapy because that was my first step. And thanks to her work, I realized, I need to look into some things.
Even NHS, you can't get.
I don't know.
I know here with Cat Salud, it's like twice a month max that you get some services.
But it's almost like therapy is complicated, right? Because if it's almost you have to already have that self-love enough to feel like you deserve to feel better. So the more barriers you put in place, going on a waiting list, going on all of these things, that's another barrier that might stop you from pursuing therapy. Even if it's free, it's still, it really depends on
Straight up. Well, earlier this week when we spoke, you mentioned something about understanding the forgiveness of your parents because they did the best with what they can. But it is from that I think that epicenter of your family when you're born, where you learn how to love yourself, why to love yourself, the ability of that. And I don't think most parents even know to love themselves, what that even means, because it sounds narcissistic. Yeah. And there's that word that throws around all the time. So, but loving yourself really is vital because if we're not good for ourselves, how the F are we going to be good for anybody else? And I just went through a massive funk of a funk this week. I mean, it was a Sylvester level, do you want to funk with me moment. And it was not cool. So I want to come back to talk a little bit more of the nitty gritty of this, as well as the concert and Esperanza BCN. You know how we do. We like to get things all loosey-goosey in here. And one of the first things I want to throw out there's a new kind of outfit, a DJ outfit called Round Shaped Triangles. And they make me feel happy. And this song is called Better Apart. And sometimes you need to take yourself apart to get better. So let's play that. It's just a 4-minute ditty. We'll be right back with Sir Adam and Lady Karina.
Can't you see better when we apart? Take the high road, don't you take the compact. You keep me from love and I ain't what I want out of it. Not losing my mind and I forget. I'll fly again. Hey, please let me go. I wanna be the best of me, and I just wanna make it through the day. So please let go. I wanna be the best of me, 'cause I just wanna go back to that place where I belong. I wanna be the best of me, don't try to call me back when I'm away and lost gone. We should be better. Please let me go. I wanna be the best of me, and we should be better. So please let go. I wanna be the best of me, 'cause we should be go back to that place where I belong. I wanna be the best of me, don't try to. We should be better. And now it's gone. I wanna be the best of me, and we should be better. We should be better. Hey, please let me go. I wanna be the best of me, and I just wanna make it through the day. So please let go. I wanna be the best of me, 'cause I just wanna go back to that place where I belong. I wanna be the best of me, don't try to call me back when I'm away and lost gone. I wanna be the best of me, and I just wanna make it through.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. Round shaped triangles. Just check them out. They're like, fun. So, vocal cord came up. It's not that old. It's a rather young.
Yeah, I mean, it came about actually during COVID when we were limited to small group sizes, and I'm a musical theatre writer, and my friends wanted to sing, and they were non-singers. A few of them were singers, and so I started making these choir arrangements for them, and we met in 6, and then the numbers kept expanding, and then that's when I discovered the magic of a small choir. So now there's always only a maximum of 23 people per group, because in that way you can hear the other choir members, you can hear yourself, I can give attention personally to people, and you don't feel lost in a crowd of singers, which is pretty magical, and that's because of COVID.
When did you get started, though, in singing and things of that nature?
In my life. Or
yeah.
well, ever since a kid, I'm self-taught pianist, and it was my my solitude, and I would always write songs. And then when I was 15, I was watching Ugly Betty, which was like one of the first kind of queer examples of television with these queer characters. If you try and rewatch it,
Latino.
yeah, exactly. If you try and rewatch it now, it doesn't seem so progressive. I just tried to rewatch it, but I still love it. And then on this show, the main character, America Ferrera, the actress who played her, went and saw this thing called Wicked. And I was like, what is that? Wow. And then I deep dove into musical theatre, and then became obsessed with Wicked. went to London for the first time when I was 16, took all my friends to go, convince them to go see this show. And so, yeah, since then I've just been musical theatre writer, went to drama school, and then moved here and have been performing and writing
Where
since.
did you go to drama school?
I went to the London College of Music,
Okay,
so
wow,
which was great for the musical theatre program, and it was intense, but it was great, and I grew a lot.
Amen. Why Barcelona, out of curiosity?
Well, actually, I just graduated from drama school, and living in London isn't particularly affordable as an actor.
What are you talking about?
I
That's
know,
crazy talk.
I
New
know.
York and London are cheap.
So exactly. So as soon as you graduate, you're like, holy shit, how am I gonna? Sorry, I just swore. Sorry. How am I gonna afford my rent? And so you take like a job, right? But then you're not available to audition. The self-doubt creeps in. And then I was working for this charity, which brought together young people from different socioeconomic backgrounds on this residential program. And this job thing came up while I was working at the computer. And it was like a job in Barcelona for an actor. And I was like, And then I was on holiday and I said, I can't make the audition, but I am going to be in Barcelona next week if you want to see me. And then they gave me a job for a year. And then that was 2 years. And I started writing for them. And I've been here ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Lady Karina, we're gonna come back to Vocal Core and the Harmony fundraiser benefit at Sala Bikini in just a minute. But Lady Karina, what brought you from France over here to help the good people? Is that what you're doing?
Well, to start with, I didn't do that at all. I just followed my husband, who got a teaching job.
Wow.
And I started working at the school, and I had a colleague who was doing yoga who just said, next time you come, please bring any Ajit product for the Esperanza. And I just checked them out online, and I said, sounds interesting. So I started cooking for them, like maybe 8 years ago. And slowly I said, okay, now it's time to do the work. And I will never forget my first work.
What is, in a general sense, what Esperanza does?
Okay.
But you mentioned it earlier, but let's...
Yeah, so Saturday and Sunday, we have a team of volunteers who make food. It's sandwiches, eyeball eggs, veggie soup, juices, fruits, and sweet stuff. And we have a locale, so people come and drop the food. And we have a team of 5 workers, and the lead worker who knows the route and knows the homeless. So we prepare the food, it's little carritos de compras, and we go around the same route every single time. So we got to know the homeless. That's why sometimes we say they are friends, because it's more that give them food, give them shoes, it just connect with them so they feel seen, heard.
Amen.
And like we care for them.
Exactly.
Because
you do.
yeah, and
Because otherwise you wouldn't be doing this.
yeah, and the only difference between, they are, but me or us and them is luck and privilege.
Amen.
And it could happen to absolutely anyone. So, yeah.
Was there something in your background that led you to wanting to do this?
I don't know.
Okay.
No. I just, it's me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because my dad, who is retired now, he does volunteer himself. Like he's got a group of asylum seekers from different African countries who come to France. And in order to get the paper, they need to volunteer for some number of hours a year. So my dad is helping, he's working with them with a sporting event. So,
Okay.
but that came out later. It's like almost my dad and I starting doing that at the same time without,
See, the DNA evidence is there, children. The DNA evidence is there.
May I add something about Karina? Like
Please.
she doesn't always sing her praises, but she really does break her back for other people. And the whole reason I am wanting to raise so much funds for Esperanza is because of you. And going on this walk that she mentioned is where you give the food directly. I saw the relationships. They were relationships she was having. Their faces lit up when Karina approached them. And it's just so special what you do. And it's so appreciated.
Yeah,
So thank
you
you.
for doing that. Because
Thank you.
to quote the scripture, where much is received, much is required. And so that comes from, and that's also something that has created what we're doing here on Sala, what you're doing here on Sala Bikini as well, because all of the funds that are being raised are going towards Esperanza BCN. So also shout out to Sala Bikini for actually,
Taking on
coming
the
in and
project.
doing this, but I'm just giving the space for it. But tell us about the event, please, because this is getting deep.
Okay.
It's 8 kids.
So this is the third edition of Hope and Harmony, and for this concert, I wanted to create something with a bit more of a narrative.
Why?
So because I wanted to create an experience, so it wasn't just song. I was thinking about this concept of death, life, and rebirth, and how we kind of go through that process, sometimes daily, sometimes over our life in these little ways. And it's about going through something in your life, almost your generational trauma or whatever it is, and then you struggle, which is life, but then there is always this small glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel, and it's about redefining yourself and becoming who you are. Not just who you want to be, because some people say things like who you want to be, but sometimes you don't even give yourself the permission to be who you are. And that is the show. So it's 6 songs broken up with some incredible documentary that has been made exclusively for the show by Linda Freund, who is a journalist, and she has interviewed 8 different people from different marginalized communities, and they have bared their soul. And she's edited this incredible documentary together that happens between each song. So it's not just a choir concert, it has a narrative, it has some beautiful video, and everything is intentional. And so hopefully by the end of it, you'll realize you're in a room full of people who have maybe, you're seeing on screen, almost celebrated their struggle, and then maybe you'll feel seen, and then at the end it's just almost like this euphoric feeling of like, there is hope. Let's life is drag. That's the final from the show.
You mentioned we've kind of talked about not a lot, but throughout this show we've talked about people's struggles. And what you do is to appease people's struggles in a way. So you feed the heart, you feed the soul, you feed the tummy. But you mentioned at the beginning of the interview that something you went through emotionally, mentally a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Was that something that gave impetus to what has formed now with this concert?
Probably, yeah. I think naturally I had this pattern of being quite avoidant in terms of not wanting to feel like my problems were a burden upon anyone else. And then eventually something
fearful, dismissive.
I don't know which attachment type I have. But I realized through my friends, the support of my friends, it was my friends and my partner who forced me to go and get an assessment, because you think you can hold it all in. You think you're not a burden. You can think all these things, but actually your friends want to help you. There are people in your life who will feel good if you let them support you. And so
it's really hard for me to do that.
I know. It's hard for all of us. It's very hard, but I think that is it. Is your friends do want to help you. And if Jedi mind trick yourself and just think it's for them, let's make them feel good if that motivates you. But yeah, so and then I spoke to Linda, one of the vocal core choir members, who's directed and filmed and created all of this video. And then I said, would you be interested? I want to do this thing. I have this concept for this show. And she was like, let me think about it. And within, I think, 10 hours, she sent me a treatment. And then I got her juniors on the job as well. And it's shaping up to be something incredibly moving.
How did you guys meet?
We taught together at Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
I can't remember how long we worked together for. 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
And we left at the same time.
Yeah. I was the artist in residence of BFIS, so I did all these big full-scale productions, and I learned a lot. And then I had the privilege of meeting you, and you were there for me after I'd been teaching these classes, being like, oh God, I've got so much to do. And you always said, like, have a cup of tea, sit down, let's talk about it. And then as a result of Carino, I then volunteered on these walks, and then I just was, and now I fully just want to support you and the organization. So
why? Yeah. I mean, what did you teach out of curiosity? I'm wondering.
French.
Okay.
And I also was the service community coordinator. So students were doing service.
Do you run Esperanza now, BCN? Or help run? I don't know.
I'm the president.
Okay. So that's a yes.
I just don't like saying things.
Told you.
Okay, let's get back into the creative text. Well, I guess I'm supposed to throw on another song, but I have a question before that. How important, in your opinion, is this camaraderie, I put symbiosis, amongst choirs, the chorale troops, actors in an improv, just on the stage in a general sense?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important. It's connection. It's like the relationship, not just between the actors on stage, the audience, the choir, different theatre company. It's for example, Ed Oldcroft, who runs Barcelona English Choir. He's incredibly supportive of me, I'm so passionate about community over competition always, and together we can all do the most incredible things. And on stage, it's like just this little chisper. You can see what happens when people like just stay open and create this beautiful things on stage. And I guess it would be cool if we could do that all the time.
Have you seen in the last decade a growth in the English-speaking? Right,
Yes.
obviously, so many of us are escaping. I don't know why we'd want to leave the UK and US. I mean, come on. How
Sure.
do you think that is making a little dent now in the Catalan community? Because I feel it more than I've been here 16 years. Child, no, not shit going on 16 years ago. Very little.
Yeah, I think it's the internet. Me and my friend Annie, who is artistic director of the BCN studio, we call it the International Performing Arts Renaissance of Barcelona, because now there's projects in any language showing up because there's more spaces. And I think it could even be a response to the societal trauma of COVID, right? We were suddenly all locked up behind screens, and I think there is a want for something visceral or a want for something happening live. So I'm very happy to be a part of that.
And you are a part of that. I'm going to get we're going to throw in a little ditty as we do here on the Club with Lucas. This is one of my favorite DJs as of late, the last few years, since COVID, actually. Neil Francis. I just love his little arrangements. You know Neil Francis?
No, I don't actually.
Oh, God. Just dig this, brother.
list.
All right, this is some dumb love, because sometimes you fall in dumb love, and we'll be right back to talk about real love, because a real love make an ill thug feel bug with Adam and Karina. We'll be right back. Oh, God. Mary J. Blige. Oh, hi. Neil Francis.
Love to be lied to. Don't love, say nothing. I know we'll meet I feel alright. Kisses on my lips all day. Every time I walk away,
Poor Karina, welcome back. That's, I mean, yeah, sorry, that's some dumb love because we just talked about some dumb love up in this bitch. Can I just say what we talked about in the 4-minute interim? We just broke down the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City for Lady Karina over here.
Amen.
They actually, I hope the poor they're on that show too. Yeah. Just saying. But I'm going back to what we're doing here now. This is. Would you say that this show, like when people come to see it in 2 weeks?
I know.
In less than 2 weeks, actually, on April 2nd at 8 o'clock at Sala Bikini. And when people come to see that, do you think it's guttural? Is it gonna, punch him? There's a little bit of a punch.
We
in there.
don't shy away from anything, so I would say there is a trigger warning because we do cover many topics. It's not recommended for anyone under 12.
Thank you for saying that.
But it is also, there's an important piece there. So when I was working in education, where I met Karina, and I was studying for my PGCE in education, there was this whole segment on social media. And I think at whatever generation you're in, it's almost like you think it's just you guys who are handling it. But when you figure out that kids are comparing their lives from the age of 7 to their classmates, they're going through it too. And there's something to be said that I don't ever want to police what people want to share, and I think there's some power in it. If you do feel like you want to take your child to it, I think you could have some really wonderful conversations without judgment, because I think kids online have access to so much now, and they are embarrassed or they are scared to tell their parents what they've seen. They have nowhere to put it. So even though we're going to cover topics such as self-harm, rumination, seeking asylum, trans issues, queer issues as well. And I'm saying the word issues in terms of like issues you've had in your life as a result of other people, because this is something I'm very passionate about. Is like queer people are not sad. It's society around them who makes them sad. Yeah. And queer existence is resistance. And people might think, oh yeah, keep it to yourself, or like the rhetoric that people like queer people are trying to convert kids. It's like it's like, hey, we exist. I exist. I am who I am as a result of straight parents, and we're living in a very heteronormative world. And this creator, which I shared on the Vocal Court Instagram, I'm gonna try and find out what their name is because I've forgotten. But they said queer people aren't sad. We're not existing in order to convert. We're existing to let young queer people know older versions of them exist. And that punched me in the gut because I realized
that we are not miserable.
No way.
Exactly.
And like like
gay means happy children.
Exactly. And it's like when I think back, it punched me in the gut because I remember growing up being like, I didn't even know you could have a relationship with someone of the same sex and be 70, 80. We never saw examples of that. So
then I want to thank my older brother right now, as you say that, for giving me Armistead Maupin's Tales of the City and Lady Madrigal. Do you know Tales of the City?
I don't know, actually.
It is a book series that came out by Armistead Maupin in the 70s and in the 80s, and it turned into a BBC thing in the 90s. Laura Linney, that's where she got her first start, the actress.
Okay.
Great stuff.
Got some homework.
So I grew up, and Olympia Dukakis played this woman, this trans woman who had converted her home that she inherited into a place for gays and lesbians to come safely. In the 70s San Francisco, it's such a great story.
Okay, I've got some homework.
So I that was one thing I did see older people in their 50s, 60s, 70s who were still together.
Amazing.
And my older brother is also gay, and my sister loves men too. So there was this, and my twin brother and I are both gay. So my father is just bedecked with children who love dick. And there's an element of a reality acceptance when you have to deal with that. That's not easy. My parents were, as I said, extreme right, and they had to really move over. I mean, my father voted for Bernie Sanders, and they used to be Bush supporters and Reagan lights and all that stuff. So things can change. How pertinent do you think, and I wonder if this is handled in the Life, Death, Rebirth concert, how pertinent is a parent's aid or a family aid in someone's emotional, mental well-being?
I think
especially when they're gay.
I think it's imperative. There are so many conversations that can't be had. You have
Yeah.
kids who are going through school who don't receive queer sex education. And, you know, that can lead to very problematic things as they enter the community. And I think you just need to, whatever your kid tells you, believe them and let them know. Let them know it's valid. And just, I think
Validating.
parents should be talking to their kids about everything and anything. And I think more knowledge is power. And there is sometimes a sense of shame between parents and kids. Like, kids don't want to tell their parents something because they're scared they'll get in trouble or their parents will judge them. Obviously, from the parents' perspective, they're trying to protect them, right? It's like, I don't want to introduce them to this because what if they do it or whatever, but it's actually the opposite. And it's just, I guess it's like trying to remove that sense of shame between those conversations. And I think over time that would be a beautiful thing. So I think parents aid, or however you define whatever a parent is, maybe your parent is someone else in a community to you. But I think that I think it's imperative.
It totally is. I agree. You know, Lady Karina, can I throw a out of left field question to you? Because you do other things, obviously, besides Esperanza BCN. But how much do you think of that type of societal issues has affected the people that you have to feed? I mean, the abuse of society, neglectful parents who are not there, that result in the homeless situation.
That's an excellent question. I'm not sure how to answer that. I mean, there are many reasons people are on the street.
Straight up.
And sometimes when we ask the question, especially young people, the first thing that comes to mind is drug addiction. Yeah. Or they lost the job, which they obviously did. As the family background, upbringing, some of the homeless actually still have a relationship with the parents. You know, sometimes they with the brothers, and sometimes once in a year they might go and spend some time with them. But sometimes the family is not even aware of what they are going through. And sometimes it's the parents themselves who push them out of the home for different reasons.
Exactly.
But,
and I mean, one of those reasons sometimes are because they're LGBTQ.
Yeah,
You
we
know.
have seen trans, like a couple of trans women, like a no place like we've seen it for a while. And people who have somebody who actually is out of the street now, but a young Iranian person who was here for 9 months because he had to escape Iran because of his homosexuality. And he was jailed when they found out because he was going to the military service, and they found he was homosexual, so he was jailed for 2 weeks. Couldn't speak to anyone. Then he was set free, and on his way home he was arrested again for a month and a half. And when he went back home, his family was supportive. They said, you need to escape, because otherwise I don't know how you're going to survive.
His mom and dad were like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he's been lucky to have the support he has. And so he decided to go to Europe because he said it's the safest place for me as a homosexual. And he's been here for 9 months.
Okay.
And he had to leave his family and his partner. And he can't be in touch with them because of safety reason. And thanks to actually an organization called Akathi, they look after LGBTQ people who are refugees and asylum seekers. He's got a room now.
Praise God.
So, and I mean, Adam had the pleasure to meet. I'm not going to say the name, but he's such a beautiful person, and it's so fucking sad to hear that.
Yes.
But and he said during the interview, like, he's proud of who he is, and it's good to know, like, despite everything, he's an amazing person, and he's volunteering for us. It's really like
He's one of the courageous souls who are sharing their story in
So
the
he will have
show.
his story in the show.
You'll
Yeah.
hear his story.
we interviewed
We interviewed him.
Adam did.
And it was the piece of like there's two things. I was crying so much just hearing what he had to say, not from a sense of sadness, just a sense of like, wow, holy crap, like him saying he just wants to know where his boyfriend is and he can't contact him. I was like, oh my gosh. And then one of the most beautiful things is one of the questions asked was about tell us a time of self-doubt or a time you struggled, and he said, I love myself. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I just started crying. So with all the adversity he is still loving himself.
Yeah.
And it's an inspiration to us all. And it's one of the most touching elements of the Hope and Harmony event. And you'll get to see his story.
See, folks, this is some of the things that, and I would love if we saw this more in our personal Spanish and Catalan community, of ideas like this that are bred from a place of truth and often pain, but that are there to help others. I feel there's something that, even though I can't stand the proverbial bane of the existence of my country at the moment, there is an element of, even though I was raised in extreme privilege, like I said, our whole identity was also to help feed the poor and clothe the naked growing up. So, and I sometimes don't feel a lot of that with our community here. And I think it's very important. I know it's here. You don't see a lot of it. And certainly where I live in Puchet, you do not see it at all. And I think that it's pertinent amongst those, again, we're much required that we're doing, that things like this are happening. And before I break down in tears, I want to throw one little more song, and then I want to come back and reiterate where we're going to be, where you're going to be, where you can get tickets and all that good stuff when we come back. Oddly enough, this song is called Pleasure is Everything. This is by another male pop DJ, Mark William Lewis. And then we're going to wind out the show with Melanie Martinez because we had to. So the Power of Christ Compels. We'll be right back. This is Pleasure is Everything. We'll be right back. So funny.
Yeah.
Yes. So see, we all have our connections.
We do.
We have our connections. The Lord is good. But this, and I'm thank you again for being here and everybody. And don't worry about it, honey. It's got a weird thing. But again, I'm going to keep reiterating this, and you will be seeing this all over the interwebs over the next 2 weeks. Specifically, we're here in the Catalan and Barcelona region of the world. But the Hope and Harmony concert, in fact, this is version 3.0. It's called Death, Life, and Rebirth. It's a fundraiser concert that's going to be happening at Sala Bikini, one of the loveliest salas. So thank you again. Shout out to Sala Bikini for doing this with the community. And all of the fundraising, it's at April 2nd, at 8 o'clock p.m. at Sala Bikini. And all of the fundraising, the money that's being raised is going to feed the hungry and the homeless here in Barcelona through Esperanza BCN. And so Where can people find these tickets and contact you if they'd like to, sir?
Well, you can head to the Eventbrite, which is super convenient for the people who are using Apple, because you just have to tap it, and then you can pay by Apple Pay, so you can take all the work out for you. You can check it out on Instagram. The link is in the bio for the tickets. Even if you can't come, I still recommend. It's your way of contributing to Esperanza, and it's singers on stage, 50, 60 singers on stage, singing their heart out in 4-part harmony, and it's going to be beautiful and moving.
I want to talk about really
amazing.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, but the 4-part harmony. I grew up in a choir, and really, how does it rhyme? And of course, I was a soprano, and with this lovely voice. And you said, "Oh, we're not doing that bass, alto, soprano. We're not."
No.
Can we tell the good people how you break this down really quickly?
Okay, so I don't refer to the singers as soprano, alto, tenor, bass, contralto, all of these words, because they are inherently gendered. And this is not just for the anti-woke people out there. This isn't because I'm saying gender is a construct, which it is. But anyway, it's actually to stop people from boxing themselves up, because there are incredible people who identify as women with deliciously gravelly voices and men with high soaring voices. So, and as a result, we use a number system. So it's one voice 1 being the highest, voice 4 being the lowest, and you go where you want, and it's a number. It's not, you're not boxed.
Would I be put in the 4 category?
You can go wherever you want.
That's what I like, you guys. That's what it's
You
about.
can go wherever you want. And so all the arrangements are by me. Original arrangements of these incredible pop rock records of some incredible artists. We have a song in Catalan as well. I did an arrangement of Avui by Ferran Palau.
Ferran Palau, shout out.
Yeah,
to the
beautiful,
community,
incredible artist. And he has given us his blessing on Instagram. He sent a DM saying, "I hope you raise so much money."
Amazing.
So that's amazing. So, it's going to just be a night of, joy, tears, laughter, celebration. So you're gonna dance, you're gonna cry, and just come do it with us. And please, even if you can't come, just buy a ticket, because 100% of the proceeds goes directly to Esperanza. And why Esperanza is so important, we haven't picked up on. There is still an element of judgment, right? We all do it with towards homeless people.
Yeah.
One of the beautiful things you said is like, how many people have made eye contact with them today? So if you're in a position where no one's looking at you, everyone's avoiding you, how is your mental health going to be? Not the greatest, but the best thing as well about Esperanza is they go to them directly wherever they are. People like to write off, be like, "Oh, there's shelters. Oh, there's this kitchen." If you are in the position, if you're struggling with mental health, no one's making eye contact with you, why would you think you even deserve to go to a shelter? They approach them, give them choice, which is also really important as well. They have a choice. Like, which of these would you like?
Exactly.
Which is so important. And you go to them. It's not, "Oh, there's a center." And that's one of the most beautiful things I think that Esperanza
Humanizing
does.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's so important.
Exactly. And that shows them that someone out there is going to them and going, "Hey, how are you?
Exactly.
Which sandwich would you like today?"
That's
I just think that is one of the most beautiful things that Esperanza does. And so I'm so happy that Vocal Core can support them in this event.
We are super grateful, Adam, for you organizing such a concert, all your work. You pour your soul into it, and it's, and the people from Vocal Core as well, they're lucky to have you, because don't know if you know Adam, but seriously, he's the most supportive. He feels every single person welcome, whoever you are. It's like a huge art. So
thank you.
And
Thank both of you for being here. Please,
I just say something to I don't know what to call people who are listening to the radio. Next time you see homeless, just look at them with your kind eyes, smile, and say hi. You will make a huge difference that day. You don't need to do anything else. Just acknowledge them.
Amen.
Just a small little gesture.
That's
Will
right.
go a long way.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you for being here and for bringing it down.
Thank you for having us.
Because we're so politically charged when I was coming into this, and it's very sweet. Remember, Vocal Core Barcelona is also something that you can also look up on Instagram and all of those good websites. And Esperanza BCN is also something to please follow. That's also C, everybody with the little tail. We call it the C troncada here. That is to be noted as well. And again, you can also just give and donate to that. There is links for that. There's also links on Vocal Core Barcelona, and there's also stuff through Sala Bikini where you can just click to get to Eventbrite as well. So, folks, we'll be applying you that here from RCE and the Club with Lucas as well for the next 2 weeks. And as always, we want to thank everyone for being here. One of the artists that's going to be represented is actually an avant-garde U.S. Latina artist named Melanie Martinez, and I thank you so much for doing this. Because I knew her through the videos.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that because the last album came out about a year and a half ago. In 2023.
Exactly.
I remember this. In fact, I feel like we played her, but this song that we're going to shout out and leave with is called Death by Melly Martinez. I don't know if that's the one that's going to be represented.
Yeah, this is actually we're going to be doing an
original
original arrangement of this as our opening number. So get excited.
And there we go, folks.
Artist.
Remember, folks, this is what we're here to do, to bring you what's good and clued up here in Barcelona and Catalunya. Again, that's going to be the Hope and Harmony contest, fundraising event and concert, rather, at Sala Bikini on April 2nd. Have a beautiful weekend. Remember, you are loved and love yourself, and we will see you on the flip side right here at the Club with Lucas on RC 106.9 FM. Ciao, party people.
Bye.
Ciao, kiddos.
Death is life, is death, is life, is death, is life.